Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bitcoin News Show. I am your host, Vortex, and you guys are right here on the World Crypto Network. Joining us nice and late at 11 o'clock at night on the Pacific Coast here. So, we got some Red Bull going on. We got 100 people already waiting for us in the chat. So, no pressure, no pressure. We got so much stuff going on right now. We got Consensus. We got the Barry Silver Accords. Everybody's really excited. We got all these altcoins pumping, right? We got the ICOs. Everybody is just loving these.
If in the future, if there is AI involved in human-to-human computation, now this is a force beyond my control. It's not something that I choose to like. I didn't prefer that because if you pit yourself against the algorithm, your losing chance and probability is very high. So that's why, from my personal opinion, I think in the future, I still hope that I can play the Go game with a real human being. And for AlphaGo and comparable software, how should I view them? I think they are my teachers. I'm going to learn from them. So from this perspective, actually, maybe other Go players would like to play against them, but probably not me. So for me, I'm not so happy about my performance in the following ways. I think I could have done better. I should have done better. But sometimes, no matter how hard you have tried, your competitor is so strong, so powerful. So that's why I made my decision to have the last 3 games and matches with artificial intelligence. So I hope it's the last time. I hope that I can leave no regret for myself. I will try the best I can do so that I will not be regretful. So I hope that I can make some excellent moves to make myself satisfactory and happy. Actually, for example, if I'm strong enough to make the, for example, GPU or the brain of AlphaGo get warmer or heated up, it's great. So I will try my best to play against AlphaGo because in the future, actually, AlphaGo will become stronger and stronger. So that's why this time I will try the best I can. So I tried my best today, actually. But honestly, you can see that in the beginning, there are a lot of human flaws and errors. So my human flaws in the game, this time I will try my best to make sure that I will try the best I can to have a beautiful game. Even if I lose the game, actually, I don't have any regret because I have tried the best I can. So as a professional Go player, so winning is your ultimate target and destiny. No matter if you like to play against computer algorithms or if you like to play against Go players, actually, sometimes people will have different level of enjoyment and interest. So
what is going on with your profile picture right now?
Sorry, I don't add a cheap
If you want to be a world traveler, start by at a Galaxy S8. Handsome screen. Well, pack that. Oh, okay, we're moving fast. You'll need a tour guide. Check everything out. Don't forget a big camera. All that phone will work. Traveling by yourself.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Bitcoin News Show. I am your host, Vortex, and you guys are right here on the World Crypto Network. Joining us nice and late at 11 o'clock at night on the Pacific Coast here. So, we got some Red Bull going on. We got 100 people already waiting for us in the chat. So, no pressure, no pressure. We got so much stuff going on right now. We got Consensus. We got the Barry Silver Accords. Everybody's really excited. We got all these altcoins pumping, right? We got the ICOs. Everybody is just loving these scams. We got people buying Ethereum, Ripple. All right. So good stuff. Really excited to have everybody here tonight. Let me introduce our panelists. We got Adam Meister here, the Bitcoin Meister. How you doing, Adam?
Dude, I'm great to be here.
Awesome, man. We're going to have to say pound that like button. Everybody pound that like button right now for Adam. We got Benny P from BTC Sessions. Benny, how you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Awesome, man. Really excited. And of course, our special guest this evening, one almost needs no introduction at all. Creator of Litecoin, Charlie Lee. How you doing, Charlie?
Good. I'm doing great.
Awesome. So glad to join us, man. And I don't even care that it's 11 o'clock at night, Charlie, because that's how happy I am to see you. I'm really happy for everybody to be here. Like I said, we got 130 viewers already in the chat. Everybody's excited. So I think we can get right in here. So I think the first topic tonight is going to be Consensus 2017, the big the big conference. I tweeted out a little bit earlier that maybe it wasn't so much my thing because everybody's only talking about Ripple, Ethereum, private blockchains, but still some Bitcoin news came out of this, right? So really exciting stuff. So RSK is launching the smart contract testnet, unveiling their initiatives with Lumino. It's very similar to Lightning to try to scale Bitcoin. We got JP Morgan partnering with Zcash. We got Blockstream unveiling the Liquid sidechain beta. So lots of exciting things going on. And I always ask the special guest first, and then we'll go after that, and then I randomize it after that. So first, real quick, Charlie, thanks for joining us, man. And tell me, what do you think about Consensus? Is any of these projects popping out at you, or what would you like to say about Consensus?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't attend Consensus, so I'm not sure. I haven't heard too much about the projects that you just mentioned.
Well, then let me ask you this, Charlie. So specifically with RSK, then, is there anything happening with RSK and Litecoin?
Not yet. I've been in touch with. Well, I've invited Sergio and Diego to join the Litecoin chat. They haven't accepted an invitation yet, but we've been in contact with them, and I will try to convince them to also launch on Litecoin.
Very cool. So, do we have any type of time frame, or are you guys just starting to talk about it?
No, there's no time frame.
Just starting to talk about it. So that's really cool. Then let me ask you, what do you think about maybe JP Morgan partnering with Zcash? What do you think about these big companies? These really huge consortiums partnering with these altcoins?
I think it's great news for Zcash, but Zcash's market cap right now is incredibly high for a coin that just recently got released and with unproven technology. So I wouldn't invest in Zcash myself personally, but I think it's good news for all of cryptocurrency that big companies like JP Morgan is interested in working with blockchain technologies. So.
Very cool. Do you have anything to comment on maybe the Liquid sidechain or sidechains in general?
Liquid has been, they've been working on Blockstream. They've been working on Liquid for many years now. I don't know what the current solution is. Back then when we first heard about it, it seems like a solution looking for a problem. Right now, I guess it's still in beta, so I will take a look at it when I get a chance. The one issue with sidechains that I don't think anyone's ever solved yet is how sidechains will be secured. Right? If you do merge mining, then because a sidechain doesn't have its own token or coin, there's nothing to pay the miners with to incentivize them to merge mine the coin, because transaction fees will be nothing initially. And then the other way they're doing it is to have a few parties kind of federated sidechains where it's managed by a centralized group of people. So that's a different model than a decentralized currency. So for certain situations that makes sense that a federated model could work.
Very interesting. All right, let's go with Adam next. Talking about Consensus, maybe anything to comment on the three news items that I mentioned, or do you have something else to say about Consensus?
Well, first of all, it has been all over social media. The hype behind it in the last 24 hours, I have never seen for an event before. It appears to be the biggest event in the history of cryptocurrency, the way it's going right now. The news is popping out about the Barry Silbert Accords. Now you brought up the Zcash with JP Morgan. I wondered why Zcash's price went to the moon suddenly out of the blue like that. Obviously, on pure speculation, people buying into that rumor, unwisely probably. I don't know. I don't recommend anyone, jumping on something that doubles suddenly. But people in this day and age seem to love to get on these trains that just rocket up suddenly. That's just. I thought it was because the King of the Trolls had brought up Zcash in one of his I don't say his name on my show, and I won't say it on your name, who the king of the trolls is, because he's the king of the trolls. He was starting trouble. He was starting trouble about Zcash, that he liked Zcash or something. So I'm glad to see it wasn't his promotion of it. So by the way, if you like Zcash, the king of the trolls also likes Zcash. So whatever. I guess he's on JP. He's things like JP Morgan does. But no, the huge news coming out of there. All people seem pumped. Obviously, it's very corporate, but people seem to like when things get corporate now in the cryptocurrency world. With the Rootstock thing, with the Rootstock thing, I thought that there's some people out there that really like to talk about that it's gonna smart contracts and they get that on the Bitcoin. That's a cool thing, or get it on the Litecoin too. But then people associate it with an entity that is controversial. Who's the miner that's associated with Rootstock or something like that? I thought there was yeah. So people start saying, Adam, why did you bring that up? They're associated with them. I was like, I don't know, man. It is news. People buy on the news and stuff. So with the Barry Silbert Accords, I would love a full explanation of the timeline, if this is really going to happen, if it's really consensus among the people and the players that it really has to be. I mean, I've seen a lot of the price pumped because of it. No doubt that people think SegWit is getting close. So if SegWit is born for real out of this event, then yeah, this event will be the biggest event ever, or most important so far. But I want to know if this is for real. I want to know what is behind these accords, and if there's going to be a hard fork at the end of them or something like that. I don't fully understand, so I can't fully approve of it yet. I'm obviously very curious, and I think the market is reacting to this consensus at least the rumors that are coming out of it, in a very positive way.
Yeah, I mean, it really does feel. It feels like the biggest conference ever, because everything is reaching all-time highs on even some of this news, and so it really does feel like unprecedented. There's unprecedented amounts of people coming into the space right now, for sure, and so I guess that's just kind of raising this atmosphere of just everybody just kind of exploding here with excitement here. I don't know if I call it euphoria, maybe quite yet, but we got to be getting close. So maybe Benny, maybe you can comment on this. What do you think about consensus so far? Any of the specific topics I mentioned there, RSK, JP Morgan, and do you think maybe we're in euphoria yet?
Yeah. When I'm looking at consensus, so I mean, I just got home from a trip, so I've been kind of on a plane in transit for the past 14 hours here. But I took off and landed, and I see everything is pumped just a ridiculous amount just while I was on the flight. So I think there's maybe in some instances, maybe in a lot of instances, there is some irrational exuberance going on here. I think looking at the market caps of some of these altcoins that are just, going up 70, 80%, 100% in a day, that kind of a jump in a single day on either rumors or speculation of possible things moving forward, I think it's a bit much, but overall, I think in the end, the market will decide what is worthwhile and what is not. I think it looks a little bit like the internet bubble in the early 2000s. I think people are just trying to place as many bets as they can right now, and a lot of them will fall through, right? And that's fine, because even if a lot of them do fall through, if people are kind of spreading themselves out over a lot of different assets, then hopefully they'll be exposed to the ones that do end up lasting a long time too. Like they'll get attached to the Amazon and eBay of the crypto space. I see Bitcoin as being still the one that I put most of my faith in. I don't write off any other altcoins. Well, I shouldn't say any, but I don't write off all other altcoins. I'm not a complete maximalist, and I try to stay open-minded. But at the same time, I haven't seen anything yet where I'm really like, oh yeah, this is gonna supplant Bitcoin or anything like that. So yeah, a bit of irrational exuberance going around, but I think that's fine. And as far as the Barry Silbert thing goes, I've seen positive and negative things coming out. As soon as anybody mentions anything about scaling, they're either a saint or the devil. I try to keep myself somewhere down the middle. I don't think anything that he was doing was meant to be malicious, and I think in the end it's just about consensus, and whatever the majority of Bitcoin users and companies want is what it is. That's what consensus is. So we'll find a way. Yeah.
I think life finds a way, right? Well,
I was trying to channel my inner Ian Malcolm there.
My inner Goldblum, dude. My inner Goldblum. For sure. Like life will always find a way. And so maybe it's not euphoria, but we're definitely in some kind of bubble. I think even Simon Dixon was talking about this on a couple of different shows, and we'll actually have Simon Dixon on the next episode of the Bitcoin News Show. But right now, I mean, we got Richie in the chat saying that Polo has 41,000 viewers connected right now, which is unprecedented, I think, in what he's ever seen. We got market caps coming in. We're at 80 billion almost right now in market cap. Just the beginning of the year, we were at 20 billion complete market cap. Now we're 4xing that in just a few months. I think we're on track to a $1 trillion market cap by 2020, right? I mean, we got Chris Bernesky of Arc Blockchain, putting out these polls, and everybody's pretty much seeming to agree that 1,000 or 1 trillion is about going to be the market cap that we're shooting for in the very near future. So maybe it'll be 2019, maybe it'll be next year. We have no idea really at this point. And it really does kind of mirror the internet bubble of the early days, because we have all these companies that are just coming off the backs of what they perceive to be flaws in Bitcoin, right? So, slow transactions, I can fix that. I got a coin for that. Security, I got a coin for that. Privacy, I got a coin for that. I mean, everybody, smart contracts, we got a coin for that. So it just seems that there's a lot of these companies really trying to piggyback off of Bitcoin. And, that's great. We want more experimentation and things like that. But, with this euphoria, I mean, is Ethereum really worth half a Bitcoin? Half of Bitcoin's market cap? I'm not sure about that, but we're going to find out with all these ICOs and things like that. So crazy stuff. And as far as this maximalist, we still continue to use this word. I really think that it's coming to clear that we need all this stuff, right? We need everything, because everything, really, all these other coins, in my opinion, personally, is just an extension of Bitcoin. Like, Litecoin, just an extension of Bitcoin. Everything is just an extension of Bitcoin, really, at its heart, because Bitcoin is what's powering all of this. So, to me, the more experimentation, the better. Now, does anybody have any thing to comment on what I said there?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think you're 100% right. Like, all of these, regardless of whether they succeed or not, everything in the crypto economy is all a big experiment, right? So everything that we're seeing, if it's used in a project, it can be hopefully eventually implemented in Bitcoin, and all of these projects can borrow from each other. So I don't see all of these things as adversarial. And if we find something in a project that doesn't work, then we know to avoid it, right? So I think the entire space is one huge experiment and one huge learning process, and I think that's fantastic, because it just gives people a choice. The fact that we're looking at cryptocurrencies, and the fact that we can argue and debate over the direction a currency we use takes, it would have been unprecedented 10 years ago.
It really does feel like that. Adam, you got something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to add, you talked about the total market cap of all cryptocurrency, how it's now at what, 80? It's
Getting close to 80 billion. Yep.
I mean, it's gone straight up in the last, if you look at the chart, it just straight up in the last month. That's cool and everything, but how sustainable? I mean, can that rate keep up? What we're going to have to get used to is that there are going to be people calling it a bubble, the whole thing, a big bubble. And they have a legitimate argument when you look at a chart that looks like that. I mean, it's shocking. It's shocking. Now, I think it's great that clearly there is new money coming in, that there is a fear of missing out in the air from people who were sort of on the sidelines, who had their feet in the pool a little bit and now want to jump totally into the pool. I think it's good that new money is coming in, but there are a lot of silly things that are going on too. The ICO thing is obviously getting to a ridiculous point now, and I would just say, as new people pour in, as new money pours in, we're going to have to get used to new scammers pouring in too. So I would just warn everyone that yes, we should all be happy, but we've got to be more careful and more vigilant than ever, because I would not be shocked if among all this insanity, a massive scam that's totally jumps in there and really tries to take advantage of the situation and maybe harm the full situation, because the mass people who don't like Bitcoin are looking for something like that to happen, just to say, you see, look, this can happen. This is why you shouldn't get into cryptocurrency. I warn everyone to be vigilant out there and just look at everything very closely.
Yeah.
It may not even be a scam, right? It could be another like hack, like the DAO hack. If one of the ICO smart contract got hacked and all the coins got stolen, or it could be the SEC coming down on some of the ICOs and suddenly the whole market will crash if that happens, right? So I think it's definitely a bubble. I'm kind of scared of the crash because a lot of people get hurt, because a lot of the new people are coming in right now because of all this news and media. And those are the people that will actually get really hurt when it crashes. So I'm kind of worried. But there's nothing to do about this, because Bitcoin, all the cryptocurrency, it's always been like this, right? When the price went up, goes up really high, new people come in, and it crashes and stays low for a year or two when everyone's really hurting. But that's the way it is.
It's true. I mean, remember, the crypto was open to all people. That includes scammers, right? So, it's important to remember that anybody can be joining these things. I mean, Christy Rose has been posting about this crypto girl on YouTube, right? And all of these people talking about just these young kids, right, who've never heard of crypto before. All of a sudden they're like, the market cap, and I think this is a good investment, and smart contracts, and just completely using all the buzzwords. And so it's a little frothy. It feels pretty frothy to me right now in the ICO space, when you have all of this euphoria, people coming together with these ideas that are just clearly ridiculous, but selling out millions and millions of dollars in just minutes, right? So that's where we're at right now. We're selling out millions of dollars in ICOs in mere minutes. So that's not sustainable, but we'll see where it can go. And and like you guys said, you got to be really careful with these things. Gregory Maxwell and the Monero team, pretty much just recently discovered and fixed a bug that affected all sorts of different crypto. Because this is still early days, and so that's really interesting. I'm reading on Twitter like crazy that all of these real world people are contacting our Twitter people, like Whale Panda, right, and Squeeze. All these traders are talking about, people in real life are contacting them about Bitcoin, and it's absolutely panic. And just one more story, real quick. My previous position that I was contracted at. I spoke, of course, a lot about Bitcoin, as I do everywhere I go. And now somebody just messaged me saying that Vortex, you're a bit of a legend around here, because when you left, nobody was into crypto, but everybody knew you were into Bitcoin, and now everybody is into freaking crypto. I mean, everybody there has got some kind of investment into Litecoin or an altcoin, and so it's just crazy. Now, granted, that was a tech company, so these are tech people. but still, none of them, knew about Bitcoin before I got there. And so it's really interesting to see all these people come in and join the community. It's just growing like crazy. Exciting, but as Charlie Lee says, scary. A little bit scary. Anybody else have anything to comment on this topic?
Yeah, I was going to say one other thing related to the market caps of some of these coins. It can also be a little bit misleading the way that they're represented, because in some cases, in a few cases, from what I've heard, not all of the coins are being released, but all of the withheld coins that are pre-mined are counted towards the market cap. So you sell 5% of the coin, the existing coins in an ICO, and then you also extend that to the other 95% of withheld coins, essentially making a few $1 million all of a sudden hundreds of millions of dollars worth of market cap. So yeah, we've seen the total market cap of cryptocurrencies skyrocket, but how much of that is just an extension of, oh, well, we got a few million invested here, therefore the whole project is worth this much? And how legitimate is that when looking at is a brand new coin worth $300 million? Probably not. So I think people just need to keep that in mind. When I look at that straight moonshot with the market cap of cryptocurrencies, I do kind of take it with a grain of salt, because in a way, you're not really looking at all the coins in circulation. You're looking at an extension of the coins that are not really available to the public. It'd be like if we extended the cost of each Bitcoin to the full 21 million coins, even though they haven't been issued yet.
Yeah, it's awfully strange. We got Simon Dixon even saying things like, look, okay, we have these huge, amazing companies. huge companies like Bank to the Future that are worth $60 million, right? And now we're saying, and Coinbase, right, that's worth what, 70, 80 million dollars, or at least $30 million. Maybe Charlie can correct me, but we're saying that these ICOs are worth $100 million, right? We're saying they're worth 3 times what Coinbase is. That's just
the last valuation of Coinbase is nearly $500 million.
Okay, so maybe that's a slightly larger example, but still, you guys see my point, right? These ICOs are coming out at valuations of $100+ million. That's just kind of ridiculous for something that has no tech and no tested. Most of the time, hardly any testing at all.
Yeah, it's like an idea, no product, and they come out with an ICO and stuff on Coinbase.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So maybe real quick, Charlie, just real quick, you can give us a couple of fundamentals, to kind of look for, maybe what you look for in a project that you think might have some value in the future.
It's hard to say. The ICOs, investing in ICOs is kind of like investing in seed stage startups, right? You just don't know. The most important thing is the team. Right? The team is the most important thing. The idea is the second most important thing. And if you have a good team and a decent idea, then if they execute, then you'll have something good. I personally have not invested in any of the ICOs because it's hard to tell. I don't want to I know that you can speculate and make a lot of money off of it, but it's really all about speculation. It's not really people investing in these ICOs, they barely even care about the product. Right? They just I think the product will be good and I think I can make a lot of money from it. And they just invest in it. And yeah, 90% of the project they invested, the ICOs that happened, you actually make a ton of money from it. But it's scary to me because I think most of them will not have a good product and the price will crash and somebody will be left holding the bag.
Yep. Remember, mostly what these websites just have, or what these ICOs just have, is a website. That's really about, all they have. And so that's a little bit scary.
And a white paper. Don't forget about the white paper.
Oh, gotta have a white paper. Remember, and it's got to be 50 pages long, right, to obscure all the fundamentals, right? So just a few things, that I would advise you to look for, even though I know you guys aren't going to look for these because you're just going to freaking invest in them anyway because it's just freaking gambling. But, a couple of things. Look at the founders of the project. Look at the developers. That's the most important part. What the hell is the track record of the developers and the founders? Where do these freaking people come from, follow the money, right? Like that's kind of really the most important thing you really got to look at, because again, most of the stuff is just, you know, people who worked in the telecom industry, or, you know, just people with no experience in crypto. And so it's very scary. So just do your guys' due diligence, please. And be careful out there. So, before we move on, you know, we got 387 live viewers, so I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining. That's definitely, we're breaking some records over here on the Bitcoin News Show. We got Euphoria with Consensus. We got the chat going by, streaming by. I'm trying to keep up with it all. A lot of stuff going on, so thank you guys so much for joining us. Please, in honor of Adam being on the show, can everybody pound that like button? Come on, people, hit the thumbs up. You guys know what to do, so pound that like button, subscribe to the World Crypto Network. We got over 11,000 subscribers now at this point, so we're really happy. We're really thrilled with all the feedback. You know, definitely leave us comments below. We do the show only every couple of weeks, so we love to hear all the comments. And of course, I'll have everybody's Twitter links below in the show once it's completed. So everybody, you know, follow everybody here on the panel. We all got a lot of stuff to say on Twitter and about Bitcoin at pretty much any given time. So thanks again. So guys, wow, we're almost at 400 live viewers. Okay, that's getting crazy. Getting a little nervous. No, everybody's having a great time. We did mention a little bit about the Barry Silbert Accords. I did have that as a topic. I think we're going to go into that just a little bit before we start asking Charlie just a couple of questions, just maybe if I can get everybody's comments. So, you know, Barry Silbert did launch this. Well, actually, nobody officially said anything about it at Consensus, right? It wasn't like officially launched. It was just kind of pushed in the back channels, and I tweeted it out, and Chris Ellis tweeted it out. These Barry Silbert Accords, where they're trying to agree to have a hard fork in 4 months with like 80% consensus to activate SegWit. And so maybe if I can just get the panelists' opinions on this. First, we'll go with Charlie. What do you think about this? First of all, what do you think about the chords, and then what do you think about going of this particular method of going around trying to find consensus like this, the way Barry did it? What do you think?
I think it's great that he's trying to help find consensus, because there's just so many people involved, so many companies, so many miners, so many developers. You just need to kind of get everyone together on the same page and agree to something, and otherwise nothing happens and we stay status quo. The only problem I have with that is I don't think he talked to a lot of developers. So they haven't really announced anything yet. So I mean, what we see right now is just something that was leaked, right? So it's not final. So maybe he is going to talk to some. I actually talked to him and I suggested he should talk to some developers. Because the idea of doing a hard fork in 4 weeks for Bitcoin seems pretty insane to me.
4 months. 4 months. Not
4 months. 4 months. Yeah, even 4 months, it's pretty insane to do a hard fork. And also, what was leaked was that they're suggesting doing another SegWit deploy using the 4th bit to signal for SegWit at 80%. That doesn't make any sense to me either. If we really want to get SegWit, then we just do a user-activated soft fork and get SegWit, right? If all the companies support it, they all install this user-activated soft fork binary, and it would just happen because they have 80% of miners, so 80% of miners will be signaling for SegWit, and that's enough to push through a user-activated SegWit plan, which would happen in August, I think. So a much better plan is just to do that, right? A UASF SegWit bit 148 in August 1st, I think. SegWit will activate and we'll get SegWit, and then do a 2 megabyte hard fork in a year, I would say, a year from then. And if all the companies want this 2 megabyte hard fork, we can plan for it and make it happen. But we really need to get the developers involved too. Can't really supplement developers.
Yep, good points. Then what are your thoughts real quick on the user-activated soft fork coming up in August? Benny, sorry, I was asking, real quick. I was asking Charlie, just to follow up, and then I'm actually going to go to you, Benny, and then Adam. So first, Charlie, just a quick follow up. What do you think then, Charlie, about the user-activated soft fork that could possibly happen in August?
I think so. The idea behind user-activated soft fork is that if all the users want something, then the miners will need to mine what the users want. Otherwise, miners will be mining a fork that's not worth anything because the users don't actually want that fork. So the extension of the users are the exchanges. So in order for user-activated software to succeed safely, you basically need to convince all the exchanges, right? All the users need to contact their exchanges and say, please support this, right? SegWit is by far the best way for Bitcoin to upgrade and to scale right now, the easiest and safest way. So support it. If all the exchanges run the user-activated software code, then miners will have to follow, right? If they don't and they fork off with a SegWit sealing transaction, then they'll be mining an altcoin that's worth nothing because they can't sell it, right? So miners would just follow the fork, or it's not even a fork. We'll just follow the soft fork, and SegWit would activate. So I think that's the safest way for UASF to happen. So if anyone is supporting UASF, they should contact their exchanges. And if the exchanges all support it, then it will safely happen.
Very interesting point. Yeah. If you guys support the user-activated soft fork, I think it's uasf.co. Definitely contact your exchanges and make sure that this can happen in a safe way. So we'll go with Benny now. Benny, what do you think about the Barry Silbert Accords and this user-activated soft fork coming up in August?
I definitely appreciate what Barry is trying to do. I think, in the current environment, it's tough to get people to see eye to eye, and the fact that I think he's shone a light on the fact that a lot of people do want SegWit, which is fantastic. I'm curious what the difference is between what he's proposing now and what happened in Hong Kong when there was the agreement that happened that said SegWit and then 2 megabyte hard fork down the road. I'm curious what the difference is. I think it's kind of sounds like just timeline, but I mean, at the same time, like what's the difference? What's locking that in? And I didn't get a lot of details on it, so I'm unsure, but I'm curious why this is different from what was said before. I don't think that a hard fork is awful if it has consensus. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Core have in their plan, didn't they have SegWit, and eventually down the line there's going to have to be an increase on the base level as far as the block size? Wasn't that always in the roadmap?
I'm pretty sure that was always in the roadmap. It just was never defined as when. It was just always a hard fork down the line after SegWit. The most important thing was getting SegWit activated.
The thing is, like, people don't know if you actually need a hard fork. It's possible that with SegWit and Lightning and other future optimizations, that Bitcoin can actually scale to everyone without needing a increase in block size and a hard fork. Possible. Most people think that's not likely, that we will need some kind of hard fork. But if we get SegWit right away, then we have some time to figure out what a better way to do a hard fork. Like maybe a better way to increase the block size, maybe with like the flex cap proposal or something even better, right? So doing a agreeing to a political compromise where we're going to do a hard fork to 3 megabyte in 4 months just because it's just really silly to me, right? You SegWit now. All the companies that are signing this agreement update your software to do SegWit transactions, and all of a sudden we have double the capacity, right? And then we'll see what else we need. It's all really stupid to me.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I really do like the idea of a user activated soft fork, mostly because of the precedent that it sets. The idea that if there is some misaligned incentives in any part of the ecosystem that users and businesses and everybody can kind of go work their way around that by supporting a user activated soft fork. I think that's a fantastic precedent to set. If we can accomplish it without and miners just say, yeah, sure, whatever, then great. But I just like the idea that it keeps everybody in check. And I think that's a good thing to have. I think it's great that there's something that enables us to have kind of checks and balances with everybody in the ecosystem. And I'm excited to see where that leads, especially with the last little while, the support for a UASF going up quite a bit in this past week, I believe.
Yeah, actually, it's gone up. It's been going up pretty steadily. Rodolfo of the, Rodolfo, really, I've been keeping track with him on Twitter and of the OpenDime project. And so he's been kind of really posting a lot of tweets about the user-activated soft fork, the statistics of it, the website, and where you can find out more about it and things like that. So definitely encourage everybody to follow Rodolfo from OpenDime on that. But yeah, so it really is interesting. It has been picking up a lot lately, and of course, who doesn't love all the hats from Samson Mow, right? Who doesn't love all those UASF hats from Samson Mow? I really got to contact really got to contact him and get one to wear one on the show. I haven't even really worn any of his hats, so I really need to get some. Samson, if you're listening, come on, bro. I'll hit you up on Twitter. So Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister. I can't say your name, man, without saying the full expression. So, Adam, what do you think about this craziness, man? The Barry Silbert Accords, the user activated soft fork in August. Well, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, pound that like button, people. Pound that like button if you want to avoid a hard fork into 2 contested Bitcoins, because that's my only concern. You guys covered everything really well. I don't want this to lead to Bitcoin. That is the goal of a scaling solution for Adam Meister, is avoid at all costs at the end of the day to Bitcoin. So maybe this is just a way to get SegWit started, and then everyone will see that, wow, the price is now, I'm not gonna even make it awesome. The price is now awesome. Let's not do this hard. Let's forget part 2 of this. This is all we need. Because I think Charlie, I don't want to butcher Charlie's words, but it's possible that if we just do SegWit, we don't have to worry about everything might scale on its own. It might get fixed. They won't have to do that in September, the hard fork. When I hear the words hard fork, it just puts a little bit of worry into my head. So I hope that can be avoided. I think it's great that Barry is taking the initiative. That sounds cool. I mean, someone has to step up. I mean, in Litecoin, we know who stepped up and got the job done. And wow, all the Litecoin people ended up happy. Thank you, Charlie. So you need a person to step up, and Barry's obviously stepping up. Obviously, a lot of it's behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on. It hasn't been officially announced, which is good to know that it's not official yet. So we're just talking about rumors here right now. So again, the market is starting to speak because the rumors are starting to come out, and let's take our time with it. Let's not do anything foolish and end up with 2 Bitcoin. That is just something to always keep in the back of your head when we're talking about scaling solutions. So I'll take a wait and see approach. Obviously, user activated soft fork. I'm glad to see momentum on that side too, because it just puts pressure on the people that are holding up SegWit to just get their act together. That something is going to happen. That we just can't have status quo forever, because the market is starting to demand some change. And again, I think it's great the price is jumping with the rumors out there, because if people think logically, they should put 1 and 2 together and say, like, if the rumors, these weak rumors about an ambiguous solution coming out are boosting the market, just imagine when we have a real solution and everyone's 100% behind.
I think we can say one word for that: moon. Moon, people. If we can get SegWit on Bitcoin, then all we can do is Moon. And I think that's just going to be absolutely amazing if we can get SegWit on Bitcoin. I have pretty much always, this whole entire time, just thought it was inevitability because, I see the incentives, right? A lot of people were saying, but it's only at 35% or 33%. It's never going to ever get. Look, somehow, some way, okay? Life finds a way, all right? SegWit will freaking find a way, and that's just what's going to happen. Benny, did you have something else to comment on that?
No, I just loved your Goldblum reference.
It's just great, dude. I mean, it's such a perfect analogy for so many things, and definitely for SegWit. SegWit is going to be able to find a way. I mean, we have these all-time highs right now in Bitcoin. I mean, let's just take a second to appreciate that real quick. All-time highs. I mean, we're over 2,200 on all the exchanges at one point. I mean, it's just crazy, complete madness. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the industry is coming together around SegWit. Like, this is really important, whether it's a user-activated soft fork or whatever, we're going to get SegWitted. And that's,
I think that I think the price is going up because people get that, like, SegWit is going to happen no matter what. It's not about SegWit or not SegWit anymore. It's about SegWit, but how? Like, is it going to be user-activated soft fork? Is it going to be SegWit plus 2 megabyte hard fork? Or is it somehow just going to happen some other way? We all know it's going to happen, so it's about when and how. And that's why people are excited. I mean, I'm really excited that it's going to happen. I just hope that, like Adam, I hope that we won't hard fork and split to 2 points. And that would be the worst.
I think that would be Adam. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm glad you restated that point there. I think it cannot be forgotten because that was the original. Back in March, when we were talking about this and King of the Trolls was scaring everyone, that was the big fear that there would be 2 Bitcoin, a China coin and a Bitcoin. We must avoid any form of China coin arising out of this, a second Bitcoin. And that cannot be forgotten. So when you start to see these tweets and it ends with hard fork in September, it just puts a little bit of worry. And again, we're living through this amazing euphoric time of all-time highs where I think people forgot or starting to forget, what was going on in March, how there was legitimate fear of 2 Bitcoin coming out of this, big names talking about them selling their Bitcoin, all sorts of insanity going on. We can easily return to that again. So let's just think rationally during these irrational times and avoid 2 Bitcoin being birthed out of any situation.
Very important. Very, very, very important. We do not want 2 Bitcoins. I mean, this is what makes Bitcoin, is the fact that we're not going to fork. And, I really think that the community has stuck to their guns in a good way, that we have not forked. I mean, yes, we've been fighting, we've been arguing, right? We've been trying to, but everybody wants the same thing, right? Everybody wants Bitcoin and they want Bitcoin mooned. So I think we're going to get there because that is what everybody wants, and the incentive structures will align as such. Because the game theory is so far it's been working for the last 8+ years, and I think it will continue working, even though we have hiccups like ASIC boost, right, and ant bleed and things like that. Bitcoin's still going, still secure, and insanely valuable. So that's just the beginning. It's really a global financial renaissance that we're happening right now. A global financial renaissance. Go ahead, Charlie.
Yeah, do you know why? The real reason why we don't need another Bitcoin is because we already have 2. The second one is called Litecoin.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I've been, telling people for a long time, that really Litecoin and Bitcoin, I mean, they complement each other so well. I mean, Charlie, all you did was change a few parameters and you created this perfect other use case for cryptocurrencies. Like Bitcoin, I mean, of course, we love it for our digital gold and everything, but man, when we start implementing Lightning with Litecoin, it seems to me that the possibilities are endless at that point. And
I'm really excited about Lightning, like bridging the different cryptocurrencies together. So you can send Bitcoin and receive Litecoin on the other end, or send Litecoin and receive Ether. So you don't really have to hold your coins in any coin that you want to use, and you can always like convert it on the fly, right? So if you really like to use Ether for its smart contract platform, you don't have to hold all your savings in Ether if Bitcoin is the best store of value, right? You can just send Bitcoin, convert it to ETH, and use it to pay for a smart contract when you need to. And I think that's going to be very powerful because all the different cryptocurrencies will have second layer solutions that are compatible with Lightning. So I'm pretty sure like Ethereum's solution, I forgot what it's called, will be Lightning compatible. So, and Litecoin is compatible. Litecoin's Lightning is compatible with Bitcoin's Lightning, obviously. So I think that's very exciting to me.
And at some point, I mean, it's all going to be intercompatible. It's just like operating systems and network protocols. Eventually, they have to talk, to each other. And so, and I just want to, before we move on,